If you can see it here, and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen.
So who's the best player in the world ever? Me.
Where does this confidence come from? What were you like as a child? Were you always like this? Did you know you were destined for greatness?
I was always one of those guys, yeah.
Oh, I can believe it.
The first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it.
To all of you out there, please keep your dreams alive. Dreams are something you have to believe in. I almost gave up on mine. They say stories like this only happen in the movies. I cannot believe it's happening to me. Mom, I just want an Oscar.
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
The mind is but a magnet to what you want. You know what I'm saying? The law of attraction.
4th grade, I went in my closet. I said, I am going to the NBA.
When I was a kid, I used to visualize stadiums and like raising my hand and visualizing a arena full of fans, and that was something I'd done as a kid. So I always had these visions of something. You have to do that. You have to battle with this.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve.
So a lot of times people believe in certain things, but they keep to themselves. They don't put it out there. If you truly believe in it, if you become vocal with it, you are creating that law of attraction and it will become reality.
Conor, you've been dreaming about this moment, you've been talking about this moment. Honestly though, does it feel the way you thought it would?
Yeah, it does. It feels beautiful. I dreamt this so much, so clearly, so precisely, and so frequently that it has manifested itself into reality. And that's what I am feeling right now. It's a dream come true.
Why not you? You've got the brains, you can make decisions, you can study the plan, you can change your life, you can grow immensely in the next few years, you can make your dreams come true, you can build a financial wall around your family nothing can get through, you can become healthy, you can become powerful. Why not you?
There's this thing about people and they talk about manifesting. It's real, man. Manifesting is real. When you figure out who you are and what you want to do, and you devote your life to it like a maniac, like you're all in on this thing, and you manifest, most of these people end up, doing what they say they're going to do and being who they say they're going to become. It's real. And there's no excuses. There's no days off. There's no, not willing to grind and, everybody's against me and this didn't happen for me because of this and that and all this whining. There's these people who dive in and they're hardcore and they're focused and they know what they want. They know who they are. And they lay out these short-term goals and this roadmap on how to get there. Most of those people make it.
True years in the gym, true wins, true losses, true life. I just realized that if you say it to yourself and you look yourself in the eye and look yourself in the mirror and truly believe that not a man alive can beat you, then that is the way it is. And just true hours in the gym and preparation, I feel that I am untouchable right now.
I think that there's a certain delusional quality that all successful people have to have. You have to believe that something different than what has happened for the last 50 million years of history. You have to believe that something different can happen. Confucius said, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
Wow, so your brain doesn't really know the difference between, say that again?
Between something that happened in real life or something that you strongly visualize.
Wow, so you could create...
Most people talk to themselves in terms of doubt and fear and worry and anxiety. Talk to yourself positive. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. Just repeating, I can do it over and over again. Boost your self-confidence and boost your self-esteem.
We did not come this far to just break down and lose now.
Everything's not always about winning and losing.
I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
There's people like us, we're crazy in the sense that we believe to be, it's almost delusional sometimes.
Yes.
What's the one, I've heard this quote on the JRE before, it's like greatness and madness and next door neighbors and they just borrow each other's sugar once in a while. It was madness. It was me preparing for having a sports car, paddle shifts. So I'd shift it, 3 3. I can manifest like a mother. Everything comes from the imagination. Everything comes from the imagination. So the power of the mind, people don't understand. We still don't understand. I still don't understand how powerful it is. I'm still learning. But I know one thing is I can make things happen. I can go into levels, I just can't tell the world, but like there's levels that like I've manifested things that I'm just like, I still shock myself, like how the f did I make that happen? And this is not even to do with fighting, this is to do with my personal life. And I'm like, I made that happen. And this is through this like manifesting subconsciously as well. Just years of something just manifesting, and boom, it's right there. I'm just like, I really made that happen. It's scary, man.
You have to understand, you are a magnet. Whatever you are, that's what you draw to you. If you see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. You gotta create dream boards. You gotta put the new car up on your mirror. Put the weight you wanna be on the refrigerator. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. That's the law of attraction.
And now here's my last question on the questions to ponder is why not now?
Your future hasn't been written yet. No one's had. Your future is whatever you make it. So make it a good one.
If a person would sit down and let their body relax, totally relax, and then start to visualize in their mind, see themselves the way they want to see themselves. See how you'd like to live your life. See yourself living it that way. Okay. Now understand that that's a picture in your mind. And then take that picture and describe it. Write it out in the present tense. I am so happy now that I see myself, and write it out. Start to read it, and read it, and read it, and read it every day. Carry it around and keep reading it. The one point that all the great teachers, all down through history, have all agreed on, they've been in complete unanimous agreement on it, we become what we think about. Now, it may be fantasy at first, it might even appear to us as being a lie. But if you read it often enough, you'll start to believe it. And when William James said, believe and your belief will create the fact, you will see the person's personality change.
Me signing my signature with Champion 2011 on it can't hurt me. It can't hurt me. It could only help me to believe it even more, you know. So yeah, I mean, it works for me.
Everything is possible in your life when you believe. When you believe, everything is possible. Everything is possible.
Anything you say with the words I am, your subconscious will then take that as a command.
And I used to go up to Mulholland Drive every night, sit on the side of the road, look out at the lights, and go, you know, I'm a popular actor. I'm, you know, every director wants to work with me. And I used to like open my arms and imagine things, you know, things that I wanted to come in my way and stuff. I would stay up there until I actually believed that I had all these things. And then I would drive down the mountain feeling like the biggest star in Hollywood. I wrote a check out to myself for $10 million for acting services rendered. And I put it in my wallet and I carried it for that many years. And what happened was basically a few months ago, we did the deal for the mask for $10 million.
$10 million payment for doing the mask.
Right. And so it's very surreal for me. It's strange.
We become what we think about most of the time. And that's the strangest secret. This is why thinking is so vital. This is why a goal is so important. Because we will become that.
Conor, in February of 2013, we spoke for the first time. You didn't have a car, you didn't have a pot to piss in. All you had were blueberries. Now here you are with the undisputed gold. Enjoy it, my friend. You deserve it, you called it.
Yeah, from nothing to something to everything. So that's where I am right now.
I've always had visions of better. I've always visualized better. And in times of struggle, like driving down in a banger of a car that I had to push start, I'd be still driving a soft top Bentley around beautiful California in my head, and lo and behold, now I am driving a beautiful soft top Bentley around California. So I always visualized good things. I always visualized victory, success, abundance. I visualized it all, and it's all happening.
Act like the person you want to become. That's not fake it till you make it, by the way. This is intentional.
intentionally act like the person you want to become. Because when you intentionally act like the person you want to become, your brain sees you taking those actions, so your brain starts to change the way it relates to you. When your brain sees you high-fiving yourself in the mirror, it starts to go, oh, wait a minute, Steven loves himself. Steven's cheering for himself. We don't beat Steven up.
But again, nothing changes for me, you know what I mean? I already felt like I had money back then, even though I didn't have money. I always felt like I was the champ, even though I wasn't the champ, you know what I mean? So nothing changes for me. I still feel the same way as I did before. I continue to do what I do day in, day out. I show up at the gym, I train. When I leave the gym, I take down notes of what happened in training, all the scenarios that have occurred, all, what we learned, what we did. I go back to the gym, I repeat, and then that's it, that's my life.
The 3 most common traits of highly successful people. You remember those?
So the 3 most common traits of hyper successful people that they looked at, and it was interesting. So number 1 was that they had a superiority complex. They thought they were better than other people and that they deserved more. The second is that they suffered from massive insecurity and feeling that they would never be enough. And third, they had impulse control.
Visualization activates your superconscious capabilities and releases your mental potential. The clearer the picture is in your mind, the more rapidly your subconscious and superconscious go to work to bring it into your reality.
My father always jokes that I could be doing anything. I said, listen, by the time I'm 25 years old, I'm gonna be a self-made millionaire. And he laughed at me. And
how old are you?
I'm 24 now, so I feel like a millionaire. I feel like a superstar, and that's the way I felt back then when I first started. You know what I mean? I kept that vision in my head. I kept that belief. I hit the gym. I trained hard. I believed in my abilities, and now here I am.
Let me leave you with some words from Muhammad Ali. Impossible is just a big word thrown around by small men who find it easier to live in a world they've been given than to explore the power they have to change it. Impossible is not a fact, it's an opinion. Impossible is not a declaration, it's a dare.
Like, you just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide. And then from that point, the universe is going to get out your way. It's like, it's water. It wants to move and go around stuff, you know. So for me, I want to represent possibilities. I want to represent the idea that you really can make what you want.
There's only one thing that's impossible, and that's to be a man that doesn't give up.
You need an alter ego, a version of you that's limitless. Make your weaknesses their strength. Make your insecurity their confidence. Give them a name. Give them traits. Create an amazing character. When you need them, let them take over. And eventually, you won't need to pretend. It will just be you.
This is why people who set goals achieve them. The trouble with men is not in achieving their goals. They do that. It's in establishing them. I think it's good to remember that if we just go along with the crowd, we won't wind up with much more than the wish that we could do it all over again, and as far as we know, you can't. If we want to amount to anything as individuals, we need individual goals, individual thinking, individual actions, and we must never conform to the big group.
This is the law of attraction. I mean, you have to, in the struggle, you know, when things are going good and you visualize these good things happening, you visualize more good things happening, that's easy. What's not easy to do is when things are going bad and you're visualizing the good stuff. And that was what I was able to do. I was able to, you know, even though I was having these troubles at home, and even though I had no job, no security, you know what I mean, or whatever, I still was able to feel like it was. I'm sitting here holding the steering wheel, visualizing a brand new car and visualizing good things in times of struggle. And that, when you can do that, I think that really makes that law of attraction work. I think it really attracts to you more, you know what I mean? Because that is harder to do when you're in the struggle to visualize these things.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe that you're here for a purpose, to enrich the world. Your destiny is in your mouth and in your mind. Once you receive that level of confidence, you know what I mean, and it's practiced properly, it will surpass a genius. There's nothing more supreme than confidence. Confidence breeds success, and success breeds confidence. Applied properly, you're inconquerable.
I am in a state of zen. The closer the fight comes every time, I say it over and over, the face becomes blank. There is no face, it's just blank and a fresh body type. I am calm, cold, ruthless, and ready to take out the body that's in front of me.
Ever since you came to the UFC, the confidence has been sky high. You said you were going to be the champion. You said you were going to take over. You've achieved all that and probably more. You really have taken over the sport. Undoubtedly the biggest star in it. Where does this confidence come from?
You know, confidence grows through work ethic, through seeing what's happening around you, and that's it. I put the work in, and it's paying off.
Whenever you think you can't, the confidence comes from the thing that you built. You must build belief. You must build confidence. I can knock that shit out. It's belief, and it's built on what you put in to yourself.
We're all in a battle with our own brains.
It's the most powerful thing in the world, is your own brain. It can work for you or against you.
And when did you start to realize that the visualization could work for you? Because the visualization got you through the SEAL training, I think.
It did, and I was able to visualize the end. So when I was 297, and I was all fat and out of shape, and I couldn't run a quarter mile, and I was drinking milkshakes and eating boxes of donuts, I visualized, man, how would it feel? So after I watched that show on Discovery Channel, for a brief moment, there was 22 guys that graduated. I watched this segment on TV about these guys going through Navy SEAL training. And I couldn't even, I wasn't a great swimmer, I was afraid of the water, all this shit, man. And I saw these guys just quitting. But at the very end, it says 22 guys, this commanding officer's up there, and he gives this great speech. I was like, man, I wonder. So I started visualizing me being the 23rd guy in these dress whites, sitting there with these guys, getting that Navy SEAL, graduating this Navy SEAL training. I was like, God. So I put myself there. I was like, man, that's an amazing feeling. I put myself there at 297, not even able to do anything that these great men were doing. I said, man, if I could feel that would change my life.
I kept going, not because I wanted to. Trust me, all of me wanted to stop. I kept going because I deserved to know what not giving up on myself felt like.
Great rule, you become what you think about, but you become what you say to yourself. So what you do is you say to yourself these magic words. You say, I never give up. Say it, say I never give up. I like myself and I never give up.
Around 2010, 2011, I went through this huge spiritual thing where I became obsessed with the power of the mind, meditation, visualization, and just realizing how powerful our minds actually are and our level of self-belief. I just took myself to this different mental level where I took myself from being average, very average-minded, to actually believing that I was the shit and believing that I could be the shit, and that I could be the GOAT and be the greatest and never lose. Like, I took myself to a different place mentally, and a lot of it came from mental practice and meditation and visualization and just seeking knowledge from people who are strong believers.
I always dreamed as a kid that it was possible to score 80 or 90 or 100. I always just had a dream. Like sometimes you lay down in bed and you visualize things. You just kind of, that's at least how I would go to sleep. Lay down, I'd imagine playing for the Lakers, and I'd imagine what the uniforms look like, I'd imagine where we'd be playing, and, the smell of the arena and all sorts of stuff, and I would see myself, getting hot. So you just keep dreaming and dreaming and dreaming, and before I go to sleep, I'm like at 120 points, and so when you grow up, downloading that into your brain over and over and over, and then, that summer, I made 1,000 shots a day, 1,000.
Before you go to sleep every night, visualize yourself being, doing, and having the good which you desire. And when you impress the subconscious just before going to sleep, the subconscious works with that idea that you've given it, even while you're asleep. The subconscious mind will be correlating you with all of the good which you have visualized. You say you may not realize it, but your mind is working for you or against you, even while you are asleep.
Once you figure out your brain, you become unstoppable to almost anything. Your brain's amazing. Once you feed it the right conversation, the right mental nutrients, the right mental supplements, the right internal dialogue at the right time, with the right hit, with the right proof of what you've done in the past, and you send that right to the right circuit, dude, you're a beast. A beast.
I truly believe we are all equal as human beings. If we are obsessed with something and we truly pursue our passion with everything we have, regardless of anything else, if you are obsessed, work hard, put in the time, you will succeed. And that is a philosophy that I carry. I remember during one lunch break, I was in the car park and it was pissing rain down, and I just said to myself, there was some music playing, and it was like there wasn't even words to it, it was just a kind of a beat, and I got like I went somewhere with it, and I was like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna just drive out of this building, so I head home and pursue this dream of becoming a world champion in mixed martial arts, and that's what I did. I drove home. When I got home, my mother and father said, how come you're not still at work? And I said, I'm never gonna go back to that site another day in my life. And then all hell broke loose. But through hard work, through dedication, they saw what I was pursuing, and they supported me, and I done it. I did it.
Visualizing is my biggest tool of life. That's why I've been able to put myself in cold water, put myself in a 100-mile race, and I'm able to go through the race and see how I'm going to feel at mile 50, almost to the exact feeling.
Right, so when it comes up, it's no surprise.
It's no surprise. I've already done this a million times. Mm-hmm. And that's the one thing I practice and practice and practice and practice overnight. But also, the most important thing is I practice that feeling of accomplishment that I'm going to have.
Write everything you want on a piece of paper. Everything. I don't care. Use your wildest imagination. If you can think it, you can achieve it. Write it on a piece of paper. Read it every morning and every night. Come back here 1 year from today and see how much of that stuff then came true.
I will attract into my life what I am, not what I want. So that's the difference. It's like you get what you are rather than what you want. So you want to become.
And I had one of the greatest lessons I ever learned, and I'm about to share it with you. Set a goal that'll make you stretch that far. And he said, here's why. For what it will make of you to achieve it. And I got one of the greatest classes in one sentence I've ever received in my life. Set a goal that'll make you stretch that far. For what it will make of you to achieve it. What a brand new reason for setting goals. What an all-encompassing challenge to have a better vision of the future. What for? To see what it will make of you to achieve it. And here's why. The greatest value in life is not what you get. The greatest value in life is what you become.
The first rule that I always talk about to success is you got to have a very clear vision of where you want to go. Because if you don't have that, you're just floating around. And so, I was very fortunate that I created that vision. Visualizing became a normal thing. If I can see it, then it must be a reality. And I can make it a reality. So for me, the vision became a reality. So it was only then a matter of following through with the work to get there, work your ass. Because every single time when I had a vision about anything, I had to work my ass.
What you have at the moment, Mr. Rohn, you've attracted by the person you've become. What you have at the moment, you've attracted by the person you've become. Few little simple principles here. Once you understand these, it starts to explain so much. Now, sometimes it's a little tough to take, blaming yourself instead of the marketplace, taking responsibility instead of putting it off on someone else. That transition sometimes is a challenging mission. And this one was a little tough for me. He said, Mr. Rohn, you've got pennies in your pocket, you've got nothing in the bank, the creditors are calling, you're behind on your promises. And he says, here's how that occurs. You've attracted, up until now, you've attracted the things to you because of the person you've become. Now I said, well, how can I change all that? He said, very simple. If you will change, everything will change for you. You don't have to change what's outside. All you've got to change is what's inside. To have more, you simply have to become more. And then he said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Start working on yourself, making these personal changes. And he said, it'll all change for you.
You attract what you feel, what you are, what you attract. What's on your mind,
It's like the law of physics. I don't know how anybody can disagree with that. It's just, ask any physicist, they'll tell you that it's true.
You attract, not something you pursue. Success is looking for a good place to stay. So instead of going after it, you work on yourself, personal development. See, the major question to ask on the job is not what are you getting? The major question to ask on the job is what are you becoming? See, the big question is not what am I getting paid here? The big question is what am I becoming?
here.
But you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Now think about that. If you want to attract what you want, you've got to see yourself already with it. Start to see yourself mentally. Use your imagination. See yourself already in possession of the good you desire. That will flip your mind onto a specific frequency, and you do think on frequencies. It's on that frequency that good you desire is going to start coming toward you, and you will start moving toward it. If you want to attract what you actually want, you've got to see yourself now already with it. It's only a period of time till it manifests in physical form.
Never stop, no matter how many failures. When you know you're doing what you're meant to do, you have to try.
If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind. Go all the way. It could mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It could mean freezing at a park bench. It can mean jail. It can mean derision, mockery, isolation. Isolation is the gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, or how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it, despite rejection and the worst odds, and it will be better than anything you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There's no other feeling like that. You'll be alone with the gods, and the nights will flame with fire. Do it. Do it. All the way. All the way. You will ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is.
I'm enjoying the fruits of my hard work. Nobody works harder than me inside the octagon, outside the octagon. I am a workhorse, so I'm going to enjoy the benefits of this life. I'm going to get myself a big mansion in Las Vegas. I'm going to get the soft top cars. I'm going to bring my whole team out. I'm going to spoil them and give them this life. Big steaks that size, we're eating every single night each. We're eating good, we're living good. It's human nature. Some people will sit and take positivity from that. They will look at that and take inspiration and inspire. It will inspire them to go and push for that. Others will shell up and critique it and be negative towards it. But one thing is for sure, those people will stay where they are. The people who take inspiration from it will rise up and also one day experience that life. So this is human nature. Some go one way, some go the other way. But I am enjoying my money, my hard-earned money that I have dedicated my life to.
Now, the latest research in neuroscience says you can change your brain just by thinking. So then, as you begin to think about a new possibility, and your brain begins to fire in new sequences and new patterns and new combinations, and you begin to plan your behaviors, and you begin to review in your mind, mentally rehearse who you're going to be in your life. The mere action of mental rehearsal begins to install the neurological circuits in your brain. Now your brain is no longer a record of the past.
There's a law of attraction in the universe that says that you attract into your life people and circumstances in harmony with your own thinking. So if you start to read really good material, set goals, commit to your own personal development, strive to become good at what you're doing, listen to positive audio programs, associate with positive people like at this seminar, what happens is you set up a force field of energy that is invisible, but it attracts into your life people, circumstances, possibilities, opportunities that would not have been there in the absence of your own changed thinking.
The person who's living in lack is waiting for their wealth to feel abundant. They're waiting for their success to feel empowered. They're waiting for their healing to feel gratitude. They're waiting for their new relationship to feel love. That's the Newtonian model of reality, of cause and effect. Waiting for that event to happen to take away this separation or lack. Nothing wrong with it. It's the way most people create. But what we've discovered is actually something else. The moment you feel gratitude, your healing begins. The moment you feel worthy and abundant, you're generating wealth. The moment you're empowered, you are moving towards your success. The moment you're in love with yourself and you're in love with life, you'll create an equal. And so that's causing an effect, right?
When doubt creeps into your mind, remember that whatsoever a man believeth, that shall he also reap. Remember, faith is not something you get. Faith is something you already have. But you may be using it in reverse gear by believing in the circumstances and things you do not want. the things you fear. Remember also that faith is guidance only. It is not a power which will bring you what you want, but a power that can guide you to go after what you want and get it.
There are many ways to get the things that we want for ourselves in our lives. But basically, it all begins with how we choose to think. As you think, so shall you be. 7 little words that I think are perhaps the most important things that we can learn and master in our lives. This old proverb notion that I become what I think about all day long. And once you know that what you think about is what expands, you start getting real careful about what you think about. You don't allow your thoughts to be on anything that you don't want, or that you wouldn't want to have manifest or show up for you in your life. Emerson said, the ancestor to every action is a thought.